Okay, so here's some songs in Book 1, Essential Elements Book 1, that you might think are, pretty easy, and they are, but also how well can you play them? Can you ever play anything perfectly? So just want to give you some things to challenge yourself with. Right around 90, in the middle of the book, 92, they give us some of the more fun, challenging ones. So that's 92 is one that I'd say you should try and play as fast as you can. Memorize it. How fast and clean can you play it? There's a harmony part too, that if you have the ability to play two parts at once in a duet format with any device that you have, or using video software, put them together. It's really fun to play a duet with yourself. So here is what's possible to play the song. Just a little demonstration of lightning speed. So my beginners that feel like they need a challenge, can you play Can fast? Can you memorize it? Let's see, I made a list of things that I'm sharing here with some students to help you get there. 199 are two tunes that, if you're not familiar with your G string notes, those whole pages before that will help you get familiar with them. And it's important to be able to read your G string. That's something that'll come up later in class. You might as well get ahead on it. 101, 102 are Ba Ba Black Sheep and This Old Man. They're familiar tunes, but play them and make sure you can read them well. Then 107, some students don't know, really should be played really fast. It's written in 3/4, da 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 do 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 da 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 do. But really, if we play it as fast as we can, that's the tradition of an Irish jig or a sea shanty that is much more fun. So. Which is the opening to SpongeBob. They play it pretty fast. It's usually sung a little slower than that as a sea shanty, of course, but 116 is a song that you probably don't know. I think it was written just for this book. It's like a challenge for reading, but it has slurs, connected bows, and rhythm things that you might have to look over once or twice. There's challenge there. It's a pretty little song. 118 is Fiddle-Diddle-Detta, which is a Mexican folk song, really fast. If you can play, I don't want to sing the whole thing for you because I want you to learn it. There are challenges with beat 1 being missing in a lot of the melodies, and if you're not familiar with that, it's very challenging. I heard some students working on it today, and they were making mistakes on it, even as advanced players. So that one is one you can look at. Pages 32 to 33 introduce all the in-between notes. We call them chromatics. None of those songs are particularly difficult, but it does set us up to start saying, okay, when is it a 3? When is it a 2? When is it a natural or a sharp, or sometimes a flat? And these things are sort of complicated to understand at first, but over time you'll get them. C major scale, 135. It starts 4 on our C string, 4 on our G string, 3 for violins and violas. But if we have a C string, we should play 2 octave. If you need a challenge, how far can you go? Careful on the intonation, you can go even further. There's a pattern we use to get up there. It's called 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. That's a. Although up high, I like to use 2 instead of that 3, and play it more in tune than I just did. That was out of tune. Bingo is a fun challenge that people don't realize. Oh, it's a bingo song. Okay. If you don't know that song, it's a folk song about a guy and a dog. There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh. Then the challenge of the song is to leave out the B the next time and clap. I-N-G-O, I-N-G-O, or stomp your foot or do a move. It's a campfire song, it's a kid song, it's a silly song. Playing that at full speed and leaving those out is very challenging. I'll try and show it for you. Second one, leave out the B. B. all the bingos out. Then they give you some C string stuff. So being able to play my C string very beautifully for these melodies like 152 long ago. Oof, the C string is dead. Sounds, you have to really monitor that bow and giving it just the right amount of weight and the right amount of speed and placing it just right to make it go well. 155 also plays with that too, so that should be something you can challenge yourself with. A lot more application. They do some new bow things leading up to 176 where they play Pop Goes the Weasel. This one's fun to play fast too. Oops. The bowing on that one is a little tricky. I think if we add some things, but I can't quite do that because it would complicate things. Then the Suprise Symphony theme, 182, is something that you can really get extremely two extremes at. You can show the two extremes of short and long and loud and soft. There's a transposition in there. They don't want the cellist to shift up there. The real theme goes like this. But in this book, they don't want to add too many things. So you could try and play the correct version instead of going low, which sounds funny to a lot of ears, I know. The 188 is a fiddle tune that's pretty famous, and fiddle tunes, you're famous for improvising, adding drones, adding harmonies, being a little loose, and really using a flexible bow and letting the bow dance on the strings to get your dancers to dance too. So this is how this one can sound if you really apply that basic melody, if you apply some fiddle and folk techniques to it. Much of a fiddler on the cello, especially. It's kind of challenging. I think that would be better in a cross tuning on a violin. It'd be more fun. If you want to listen to some American fiddling styles that I think really fit with that style and the masters of that style, the modern living master that I respect the most is named Bruce Molsky, Molsky. Listen to his music and his fiddling and his singing, and you'll just be transported to a whole new world of fun fiddle music. Then 190 near the end here, the William Tell Overture. It's a famous song for a lot of different reasons, but there's a lot here that are up bows and connections and fast arpeggios, string changes, and runs down the string. I'll play it for you. See if you can play it as well or better than me. Oh, there's no repeat there. Second part. Oops, I think I slurred too many on that one. In professional world, we'll sometimes do that as a bouncing book. Although it gets sloppy, and I've never enjoyed it, and usually people try to play it separate to make it more clear, but you can experiment with that bounce. I'm making a mess of that, but something to play with. Simple Gifts, 192, beautiful melody. There's more to that. Can you make people cry with how beautiful you play? I can, and not for bad reasons. Okay, and then the very end one, some of you know, probably if you've played some lessons before, this is the end of book one in the Suzuki books a lot of the times. And so the very last song in the cello book, I think bass has a different one. I think violin and viola might too, I'm not sure. But this minuet is very famous, and you can play this until the day you die and never get it perfectly right and always enjoy it, because Bach just knew how to write beautiful music and fun music. So there's a lot to this one too. Can you play this song as at the highest level that you can, with the most artistry, with the most clarity, with the most in tune, with the best tone, with the best expression? So can you make the song come alive instead of just playing the notes? Right? Can you make it more exciting? They have dots on those notes, which I don't really understand. It's okay. It's not my take though. The second half. So it's a dance, but it's also a piece of art, an expressive thing. You can slow down and grow and fall with the sound. I tried not to do too much vibrato when I was playing, because that's not a big goal of our first year players in an orchestra. Those of you that have been playing longer, of course, you might be more interested in trying this. But if you wanted to work on your vibrato, there's all these easy pieces in there that you can work on your vibrato. Twinkle with vibrato. Even Twinkle can be made into a gorgeous piece if you really master the techniques, and it takes a while. It took me a long time. I couldn't play like this in 6th grade. Basics for vibrato, if you want to start working on it. The best way I know how to teach it is you take your second finger. This works on violin and viola too. It's a little harder. You have to have a good shoulder rest and a good setup, but the basics, I think work. There's different ways to teach it, of course, and there's lots of videos about this, so start looking. I basically ask students to play one swipe, moving a 2 up and down. 2 up and down. Make sure your fingers on the tippy, thumbs underneath. Relaxed so you can slide. You don't have to have perfect weight on your finger. It can be a little loose, a little fuzzy tone. If you can get 1 in on up bow 2. Okay, a lot of students will end up doing this. They can't keep the bow going, so once you train your brain to do that, try and get 2 in. Okay, up bow. Can you get 3 or 4 in? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my hand goes faster and faster, and I start to shrink the amount that I slide too, right? Try and get 8 in there, 16 in there. I don't know how many I can get. Finger gets a little hot. But basically, if you make that shorter and shorter and shorter of a move until your finger kind of gets glued down, but if your finger was still glued and you're still trying to move it free, that's what that is. It's sort of a doorknob motion, right? That's basics of what arm vibrato is for cellos, and that's basically most of what we do. So bigger and bigger and smaller and smaller and smaller. There's a way to apply that. Once you've got that motion comfortable, start to play with the speed. Gross. Kinda gross. Pretty. Weird. Then try it with different fingers. 3rd finger's a little easier. 1 is a little easier. 4 can be a challenge. You have to kind of change the shape of your hand. You might discover that your finger doesn't like going back and forth this way. It takes a while to develop the connections in here. I think there's not really any muscles in here, but I know that I've built up some strength and ability there. So it takes a while, take lots of breaks. If it hurts, stop. But if it's uncomfortable, sometimes that's something you can deal with. Take a break and come back to it. But pain, always just stop and come back to it. Ice it afterwards, run under cold water. I'm not a doctor. This is not a medical advice. Vibrato, and do it with different fingers. Yeah, and then our students currently have a subscription to the Make Music software, and I mean, there's a bunch of fun songs on here that you can try and learn with some really good challenges. I have to have 2 fingers to click on the link here, which songs that I didn't have when I was your age. When I was your age, I didn't have this fun music. So make sure you use the software. Look around and see what you can find. Here are some things that I found that I love. Oops. See, I could work on that one a little bit myself. And then, man, if I was a kid alive today, of course, Star Wars was a bigger deal when I was a kid. If you like Star Wars, this is one that I always wanted to play, but I couldn't figure it out. And now they've got the music, and I can slow it down and learn it slow or fast. And anyways, I should work on it. That was bad. On the screen over there, and then some modern rock tunes too. I found "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go." I found "Don't Take These Beautiful Things That I've Done," and then the Nimbus 2000 theme from Harry Potter's movies. I was always liked this theme myself, but I think even the Hedwig theme is on there. Oh, that's wrong. But I think that melody's on there. But this one I just found when I was looking up some ideas to share with students. And this is a melody that's throughout all the Harry Potter movies. And then I ran out of music on the lines there, but so there's a lot to work on. I hope that I can give you some challenges and some things to shoot for and some clarity to work towards, even with Book 1 songs that are pretty easy. Yes, they're pretty easy, but can you play them at a really high level? Because there's no such thing as an easy song, says this guy. Okay, keep up the good work.